Yo, what is up everyone? This is OJ over here from PlayerEssence.com and welcome to the PE news segment that I have here for you guys. So today we're going to be talking about the latest Nintendo NX news and rumors. First, we're going to start off with a new game potentially coming to the Nintendo NX from Byte Games, a small independent studio from Spain. But this is a little bit in question because the game that they're talking about is called Mech Super Extend, and this game is supposedly coming to the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo NX. But when you try to look up this game, there's really nothing that comes up for it. But this profile, as far as this game goes, was spotted on LinkedIn. However, this development studio, Byte Games, is currently making demon crystals for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, mobile devices, and Wii U. So they are a real development studio. This information about the Nintendo NX game with Mech Super Extend for the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo NX was found on the game director's LinkedIn profile. So that's where this information comes from. Hopefully this information is true, just because I would like to see more developers putting out games on Nintendo NX. Obviously, since there's nothing really on the game that we can show you, it's still going to be more of a rumor-ish territory, but it is up there for you guys to see. Next, we have some information coming from the UK. So the BBC, which is a respected broadcaster in the UK, they have stated that they have information that the Nintendo NX will be launching in the middle of the year. The first report from them came out and said that the Nintendo NX will be launching in June, but then they later canceled that and said, oh, well, we have an update. It's going to be coming out around the middle of the year. They talked about how Miitomo is the first step in that, as far as Nintendo getting their first smartphone game out there. But I don't know about this information, just because if it did launch in the middle of the year, I would think that they'd already have some talk about it. I mean, they could do it after Twilight Princess, they could, but I've never heard of a company who has said, okay, here is a product that's going to be launching in like June and then barely talked about it beforehand. Like, as far as a major console goes, this isn't like a game like where you just kind of release like, oh my gosh, this game just comes out of nowhere and then you start talking about it. This is a console. This is supposed to be a new gaming device, and you're saying that it's going to come out in the middle of the year. So middle of the year, that gives them some wiggle room. That can be August, that can be kind of September-ish, that can be middle of the year. It's not necessarily the end of the year. So I don't really see Nintendo doing a middle of the year release. If they were going to do it, it's probably going to be the end of the year. This information that they got as far as BBC goes in the UK, they probably got it from someone as far as the manufacturer saying, hey, well, we are producing units. These units are going to be produced and ready to go at a certain amount of time. Then Nintendo could be waiting on them or trying to do the marketing together. That's what I think could have happened, because they wouldn't just say this out of nowhere. See, they're getting some information from somewhere. I would probably think it's a Foxconn leak, as far as the people who make the chips and the graphic sets and the things like that for Nintendo's systems or puts them together. I'll probably say it's some type of Foxconn leak, but it's probably Foxconn saying, hey, these are going to be highly produced, or they're going to be ready in this amount of time, and then they're going to be launching later in the fall. I think the BBC in UK just kind of made a mistake as far as when they did that. I think that's why they corrected it and said, oh, well, sometime in the middle of the year. That's why they corrected it. First it said June, and they said sometime in the middle of the year. So I think that's where all this comes from. I don't think the Nintendo NX is going to launch this June, although I do think it is going to launch in the fall. I definitely think that's going to happen at this point, just looking at what we've seen as far as games line up and what Nintendo is showing. It really does look like the Nintendo NX is going to come out this fall. But hey, we have to wait and see for that. Next, we're going to briefly talk about Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon that was announced for the Nintendo 3DS that is launching this holiday 2016, and it is going to be cool. I think it's going to be very cool. I do like the names of it, and I did my live reaction on the channel here. If you haven't seen it, definitely go ahead and click over to my videos. You'll see it right there. I thought it was a good Nintendo Direct, well, a Pokemon Direct per se. It was 6 minutes, and they got the information out there. They told us what we needed to know. There wasn't a lot of wishy-washy stuff in there. There wasn't a lot of filler. It was just straight to the information out there. And they talked about the digital titles. They talked about the Pokemon Bank, how you can transfer your Pokemon from yellow and blue and red over to the new games, which is good. I think that's always good when you have utilization of technology like the Pokemon Bank in your games. So I do like that they did that, and it gives people incentive to go out there and pick up those old games and do the whole Pokemon Bank thing. As far as improvements that I want to see in Pokemon Sun and Moon over Pokemon X and Y, which was the last, like, not remake, last real game in the main franchise, I definitely want to see better online interaction and communication. I do think they had something good going as far as what they did. They kind of went with the MMO, a really bad MMO type feel as far as random names popping up on your screen, but I would like to see a little bit better interaction and communication between trainers. I think that's going to be key for Pokemon going forward. I would also like to see no friend codes. I mean, I don't know how they could just get rid of friend codes, but there needs to be some something to get rid of friend codes. And I know that there's definitely ways to get around that, but I do think that I just wish that Nintendo would just do it with friend codes 100%. I don't like friend codes, but game invites. I think game invites are probably going to be the biggest thing. I think the Pokemon Company and Nintendo need to figure out some way to let people invite games for as far as matches goes, to where people can see it, that if you're not playing the same game. And I think that's the biggest thing with Nintendo 3DS, and that's what I want to see with Pokemon. I want to be able to be playing a different game. So if I'm playing Fire Emblem Fates, and I have another friend who's playing Pokemon Moon, and he's like, hey Francis, do you want to play a game? I want that to physically pop up on my screen when I'm playing Fire Emblem Fates, like in a message or something at the top of the screen or something like that, a little one that you can, has the option to turn on and off that says, hey, you've been invited to a game of Pokemon Moon or Pokemon Sun. Do you accept? And then from there, you can go into that game. I mean, that's something that I definitely think Nintendo should do, and that would make a better experience, because sometimes you're not always playing the same game that your friends are playing, and they might want to challenge you in the middle of that. So it just makes better connectivity between friends and better connectivity for more matches and more gameplay to enhance the enjoyment. So that's something that I do want to see. Now, that might be out of the Pokemon Company's hand, just because they're not the ones who make the hardware. But I'm hoping Nintendo can do something for that game, maybe an update to help, because there are still some big games coming out for the Nintendo 3DS. I don't know why they've given up so far as developing new stuff and new interactions with the actual system. It seems like they're not releasing anything as far as updates or features to the Nintendo 3DS system, which is weird to me just because it's doing so well. So hopefully there's something in there to help out with that. So let me know what you guys think about the news today. We have Byte 4 games with the Nintendo NX, Super Mech Extend possibly coming. We also have the BBC that the Nintendo NX will be launching sometime in the middle of the year. And of course, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Let me know your thoughts about all those topics in the comment section below. Alright, so that basically wraps it up for this PE news segment. Make sure you hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And also subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and we will see you in the next video. And remember, game on. Peace.